we're going to talk about the metaverse.
Okay, sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm good. Chilling. Surviving.
By yourself.
Yeah, that's vibing. Thank you for asking.
That's all I do. I just saw you stand alone. You look lonely.
Yeah, well,
Good check.
you know, just a little shy.
Sure,
I have low testosterone.
or you're gonna have. That's okay. You don't need testosterone to play Kermit. That's irrelevant here.
How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great video here on The Savior Show. Welcome back, my boys, to another great video. If you're new, go down below and subscribe. That would mean so much to me. It just takes 2 seconds. Check out my music on Spotify. I would highly appreciate it. Now, today, I want to discuss VR gaming and why VR gaming is bad, why VR gaming sucks, okay, and why I don't like VR games that much, which I know is quite shocking, okay? Let me make that clear, okay? Not all VR games are bad. In fact, some are absolutely incredible, okay? Boneworks, for example, has one of the best physics I've ever seen in a video game, period. Hands down, Boneworks is one of the most impressive physics-based game engine that I've ever seen, and it's incredible to play. Now, I don't own a VR headset anymore. I used to, but I sold it because I just fundamentally disagree with the technology and the implications of the future dystopia. If you want to know more about the future dystopian side of things, check out the video that I've made before on discussing why VR is bad, why VR is dangerous. I also talked about another virtual reality YouTuber, Thrillseeker, who responded, and yeah, just go check it out if you want. But I'm not a fan of the technology because I just feel like this technology separates us further and further from our original humanity roots, and it could have serious implications for our future society. I feel like smartphones and phones in general are a good example of just how dangerous VR could become, because you see how addicted people are to their mobile phones. So just imagine when that gets replaced with VR. I just don't want to live in a virtual world where mega corporations have control over all of my rights. They can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm not a fan of mega corporations owning my privacy and collecting all of my data and basically creating a virtual artificial world which they can control and upsell consumers on things that don't exist. Not caring about what's actually happening in the world or interacting with real human beings, living in a fake reality where mega corporations control that reality and they upsell you on things that don't exist, like virtual land. People start interacting less and less with real human beings, and we all are just kind of separated and more socially isolated. Instead of trying to better humanity, we just become more domesticated by this shiny entertainment, which is virtual reality. That's why I don't like VR, okay? So I just want to make that clear. It's nothing against the technology. It's against the people who are using this technology, like Meta, like Facebook, and yeah, I just don't think it's gonna have any good implications for the future of humanity whatsoever. So in this video, I want to discuss why I don't like VR games, why I think VR games are bad, and why VR games suck. The problem with VR games as it stands right now is pretty much underdeveloped and undercooked, okay? And they are all basically demos. That's what it feels like. You're basically paying for a super expensive demo experience. All VR games are super short. They copy and paste the same mechanics because VR is a new type of technology, okay? And only a few games like Blade and Sorcery, like Boneworks, okay, like Half-Life Alyx, change up the VR formula. The majority of VR games are made by very small developers who don't exactly know what they are doing. VR gaming feels very underdeveloped, and it's because it's such a new technology and they don't truly understand how they can maximize the VR potential. It just all kind of feels the same after a while, I find, and it's all a demo-like experience. It's not long, it's not in depth. For example, you can't exactly take Dark Souls or Ghost of Tsushima and turn that into a VR game because it's way too complicated. Developers need to think how to navigate menus and all of this kind of stuff inside of VR. So although it's more immersive, it loses a lot of its depth, which is pretty ironic since VR is all about immersion, and yes, it does make you feel more immersed, but what I'm saying is, because the games are so simplified within VR, even though VR is now getting more and more mainstream, it is still very small. In some ways, I do hope that VR gaming gets better, because I want to see some cool VR games, but at the same time, I don't want it to become mainstream, because for social experiences and all of this kind of stuff, then I feel like it could be a little bit of fun, and there's not a problem if you do enjoy that, but if you get consumed by this technology, I think that's a very dangerous thing. But at the same time, I hope that they don't become so good that people lose all interest in living in the actual world and, you know, they just get consumed. I mean, the same thing can happen with just normal video games. A lot of people can get completely addicted to just playing normal video games, but VR is somehow a little bit more enticing to get lost in a virtual landscape. So the reason I think VR games suck and the reason why VR games are bad right now is because simply they don't have enough, you know, manpower behind the VR titles, okay? You know, big developers aren't willing to put so much time and money into VR because they don't have a big enough audience to put all of that time and energy and money into making a full VR game experience. So we see a lot of games like No Man's Sky and Skyrim which get ported over to VR. Games like Boneworks, games like Half-Life Alyx or Blade and Sorcery are incredibly rare for VR gaming because most of the time we don't get polished or interesting titles and they don't truly understand how to convert VR into a great gaming experience as it stands, and a lot of people do suffer from motion sickness and the controls sometimes just feel completely off, and the whole thing about VR is trying to fully immerse yourself, but a lot of games try and do this weird control scheme where it basically detaches you even more from the experience because you don't feel immersed. That's why Boneworks is great, because you have a full body tracking system, but a lot of VR games just kind of feel like underdeveloped, you know? So I just think VR games aren't actually that good. It's not worth buying a VR headset in my opinion as it stands. And yeah, I just don't think VR games are that great. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.